I asked my roommate to do basic chores, and she spiraled into a delusional villain arc, threatening me, holding the Wi-Fi hostage, trying to rewrite the rent, sabotaging my pets, and turning our home into a psychological war zone. I'm 22 female, my boyfriend is 22 male, and our roommate, let's call her C, is 25 female. We've all lived together for about a year and a half now. The first 6 months were honestly fine. Not amazing, not we're gonna be best friends forever, but solid. We talked, hung out, did little things together. We even did matching Halloween costumes one year. It felt like a normal, functional roommate dynamic with a touch of friendship. Nothing dramatic. But right before we signed the new year-long lease, the cracks started showing. I had asked her, gently, if she could help out more with basic chores. Nothing crazy, just dishes, wiping counters, taking the trash out sometimes. I wasn't accusatory. I even told her I understood that everyone has off weeks, and I just wanted us to share the load a bit more evenly. She apologized immediately, admitted she hadn't been helping, and promised she'd do better. Then she added that she felt uncomfortable cleaning around my decor, art pieces, plants, little things on the shelves, because she felt like she didn't belong in the space. I tried to meet her halfway. I told her I was happy to move or change anything she needed. I asked her directly, "What do you want me to adjust so you feel included?" She said she'd think about it. She also mentioned she didn't really have a social life, and that was part of why she'd been in a slump. Then we signed the new lease. And suddenly, it was like a switch flipped, and she just stopped trying entirely. No dishes. No counters. No trash. Nothing. And I don't mean she slacked a little. I mean nothing. Whole months would go by where she contributed literally zero household labor. One month she did the dishes once, and only after I asked. And even then, she did them wrong. She started putting plates caked with dried food directly into the dishwasher. Like, fully crusted, moldy plates. She'd dumped trash into the bathroom bin until it overflowed, including used feminine products. The kitchen counters were permanently sticky. She meal prepped constantly, but wouldn't clean up her mess. Pots, pans, cutting boards, she'd just leave them wherever she finished with them. And she was barely home, so addressing it face-to-face became nearly impossible. She'd disappear for hours or days between work and whatever else she did. The less she was home, the more detached she became. Last week, I finally hit my breaking point. My boyfriend found a plate under the dish rack with actual mold and fly eggs on it. Not a little mildew. Fly eggs. And he cleaned it because it was so foul he didn't want to leave it sitting there. He shouldn't have had to do that. I shouldn't have had to see it. So I wrote a note and taped it above the sink. "Hey, I'm sorry, but all dishes that contain mold or fly eggs and are left for over a month will be tossed." It wasn't passive-aggressive. It was just honest. It was a boundary that needed to exist. She texted asking what I threw out. I said, "Nothing this time." It was just a warning because of what my boyfriend found. And her response? "I've been trying to be on top of things." No, she hasn't. Not even close. That was a lie so blatant it almost made me laugh. I told her calmly that I'm overwhelmed, that my job has gotten heavier, that I can't keep carrying the house while getting no effort back. I told her it feels disrespectful that she uses our stuff freely, our pans, our spices, our furniture, but won't clean because of decor discomfort. I told her I've tried to be patient, but I've been drowning. Immediately she says, "We should talk in person."
Fine. Sure.
I'd prefer that too. But then, out of nowhere, she sends another text that feels like it was drafted by a landlord, not a roommate. No segue, no explanation. "I'd also like to talk about rearranging our rent and bill situation." My stomach dropped. For context, because this part matters more than I realized at the time, our rent setup has always been the same. She pays $400. I pay $400. My boyfriend pays all the utilities, which come out to around $350 a month. And the reason that arrangement exists is because he's barely home. Less than 48 hours a week. He works a brutal schedule and sleeps at his job half the week. She has agreed to this setup multiple times. Multiple
times.
Not grudgingly, enthusiastically. She has repeated on several occasions that it's fair. So literally the moment, I ask her for basic help with cleaning, suddenly, she wants to renegotiate bills. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't even worked up yet. Just exhausted. Defeated. And I said, "Bills aren't up for renegotiation right now. We can settle one thing at a time or not at all." Because I wasn't about to let her derail a conversation about rotting dishes into a debate about money. Not when she's done absolutely nothing to earn the leverage she thinks she has. I left the room for a minute to breathe and went back in to finish the conversation. And the first thing that came out of my mouth was, "What the F, man? Why are we doing this?" Again, not yelling.
Just done.
Done with the avoidance, the passive-aggressive texts, the sudden, "let's talk about bills" curveball. Done with her pretending she lives in a different reality than the rest of us. She immediately slips into the soft, trembling, pathetic little victim voice, like she's auditioning to be a scared Disney side character. Don't yell at me. I don't deserve to be yelled at. I apologize for my tone. Because I'm not trying to fight. I'm just trying to live like an adult in a shared space without stepping over dishes that belong in a biohazard lab. But then she hits me with, "Before we start, don't make fun of me, but I don't have a therapist like why you. So I talked to ChatGPT, and here's what it says." I swear a part of my soul disintegrated on the spot. Because if there's one sentence that guarantees a productive conversation will never happen, ever, under any circumstances, it's, "I talked to ChatGPT, and here's what it says." At that moment, I knew we were doomed. She starts attacking my decor again. Stuff she literally complimented months ago. Stuff she told me she loved. Now suddenly it's the source of all her emotional suffering. She points at the bathroom shelf like it personally wronged her. Complains about the wine cabinet even though she's used it before. Says she doesn't need them. As if the existence of objects she doesn't use is an act of violence against her. I tell her she needs to communicate in the moment, not collect resentments like Pokemon cards and wait until she erupts months later. That every time I've asked her what she wants me to change, she says nothing, and then weaponizes it later. She gets louder, more agitated, more chaotic. She circles back to bills, back to decor, back to how disrespected she feels, even though she's done nothing but disrespect our home for months. At one point, mid-rant, she spits directly into my face. Not intentionally, but it doesn't matter. Her voice was raised, she was leaning forward, and spit just hit me. I froze, wiped my cheek, kept talking. By the end, it was obvious. We were never going to see eye to eye. We weren't even speaking the same language anymore. So I said it plainly. Clearly we can't communicate. Either I need to leave, or you need to leave, because this isn't working. And the second, the words left my mouth, she spirals. Not calmly, not logically, spirals. She runs to the hallway, turns to my boyfriend, who has been in the other room the entire time, not even a participant, and wails. "Why are you guys trying to kick me out?" He wasn't even in the argument. He didn't say a word. He was literally playing a game on his laptop. And she acted like he'd been plotting her exile in the shadows. She storms out after the argument. No resolution, no real ending, just a door slam that rattled the frame, and disappears for the night. She doesn't say where she's going, but a mutual friend later mentions she's at her ex's place. Classic. The moment anything gets hard, she flees to someone who'll enable her version of events. A few hours pass. I don't want this Cold War. I don't want to tiptoe around my own apartment. So I text her. I don't want us avoiding each other. I'm open to a calm conversation when you are. I just need communication and basic accountability. No accusations. No anger. Just an olive branch. She leaves me on read. The next morning she comes home while I'm quietly taking down the decor she screamed about the night before. Stuff she said made her uncomfortable. Stuff she claims is the reason she can't clean, even though she's never once asked me to move any of it until she exploded. She walks in, sees me removing it, and instead of saying thanks or anything, she aggressively puts my heater back into the living room, like she's marking territory. Then she slams her door. Silence. So I go into survival mode. I remove everything of mine from shared spaces. All my food. All my cleaning supplies. Every piece of decor. Anything she could weaponize or complain about. It felt pathetic and juvenile, but also necessary. I'd rather pack up my half of the kitchen than deal with another meltdown over a bathroom shelf.
48 hours pass like that.
Total silence. It's the day after Thanksgiving. I'm nearly certain she's packing to leave before the first of the month. And honestly, I'm sad. Like, genuinely sad. We were friends. We carved pumpkins together. We shared wine on the balcony. We joked about the weird noises upstairs. I didn't want it to end like this. Slammed doors, icy avoidance, and me being villainized for asking her to take out the trash once in a while. Then the update from hell. A snowstorm hits hard. I'm dog-sitting at the landlord's house. They're on their way home, so I shovel the driveway and text her to move her car so they can get in. She clears the snow off but doesn't move it. My boyfriend says she's taking a bath.
Fine.
I text her again. She replies with a single word, please. Like she's begging me not to ask her to do the absolute bare minimum. So I quote her own message from the night before, the one where she insisted that parking a certain way would prevent damage from plows, and I say, you gave a statement and so am I. That's all it took. She snaps instantly, like flipping a switch in her brain from avoidant to feral. The messages start rolling in rapid fire. The regret you feel later is going to be an insane ego death for you, tongue sticking out. She demands my landlord's number and claims I've been withholding it from her for months. I'm going to jail today if I see her. I'm going to kick her ass. It's SO over. She's broke. She's on EBT. I'm her last friend. She's disgusting. I'm turning off the Wi-Fi. She ruined my pans because she has to cook at home instead of getting McDonald's like a normal person. My boyfriend hears everything. When I tell her he can't hear her screaming, she says she's glad. Like she wants an audience. Like she thinks humiliation is a weapon. So I give her the landlord's number. If she wants to unleash an unhinged rant at 8 a.m. about snow and decor and dishes, that's between her and the divine forces that protect small-town property managers. And then, because her emotional spectrum is apparently a roulette wheel, she suddenly calms down. Just stops. My boyfriend apologizes for accidentally scratching her TV stand with a box during all the moving chaos. And her response? Thank you. All it takes is some accountability. After her explosive meltdown, she kept ranting about how she shoveled the walkway and driveway and no one thanked her properly. Mind you, I had been out there shoveling before sunrise for the landlords, my actual responsibility, and she just dragged her shovel around for 10 minutes, then dumped a massive pile of snow directly behind my car. Not beside it. Not near it. Behind it. Like a barricade. Like she wanted to trap me in place. But when my boyfriend finally says, thanks for shoveling, she softens like butter under a heat lamp and replies, thank you. That's all I ever wanted this entire time. No acknowledgement of the snow trap she built behind my bumper. No recognition of her threats, insults, tantrums, or the way she weaponized Wi-Fi like a medieval siege tactic. Just smug satisfaction that someone, anyone, validated her martyr complex. And then the anime villain plot twist. She changes the Wi-Fi password so my boyfriend can use it, but I can't. She literally told him, you can have access, but she's not allowed. Like she's rationing out oxygen based on loyalty. Then she tells the landlords she's moving out in 60 to 90 days. Not a firm date. Not a responsible notice. Just a vague timeline like she's waiting for Mercury to leave retrograde before she packs her dishes. And the cherry on top? She informs my boyfriend she's dropping her share of the rent to $300 until she leaves. Absolutely not. She's paid the same amount for 8 straight months. She doesn't get to hold the Wi-Fi hostage and lower her rent like she's doing us a favor. My dad thinks I shouldn't involve the landlords. Don't stir the pot, he says. Let it blow over. But this isn't a pot. It's a grease fire. And pretending it's steam won't save the house.
So I called them.
I kept it neutral, factual, and documented. I told them about the threats, the selective Wi-Fi access, the erratic behavior. They were calm, but clearly concerned. They confirmed that in our state, credible threats automatically justify a 3-day eviction notice, which I didn't even know. I told them I wasn't trying to escalate anything, just protect myself. And honestly, I meant that. I didn't want her kicked out violently or dramatically, or anything like that. I just wanted some structure. A set move-out date. Something I could emotionally prepare for. But somehow my attempts at being rational have turned into an elaborate conspiracy in her mind. She's convinced every accidental action is part of some plot to destroy her peace, as she likes to scribble on the kitchen whiteboard, which, by the way, currently has. I have no prime. I will evolve until I die. Everyone gets the me they deserve. Access to me is a privilege. Deny all that disturbs your peace. Those below you will try to pull you down with them. Random angel numbers. I don't need you. I choose you. It looks like the inside of a self-help influencer's brain mid-psychotic break. Meanwhile, she still won't talk to me. Not a word. But she keeps escalating around my animals, slamming doors near them, stomping past them, moving their stuff around accidentally. My cats are terrified. They hide when she's home now. I keep thinking this will fizzle out if I stay calm and minimal. But every day she finds something new to fixate on. Something new to twist. Something new to weaponize. And I'm just tired. She claims she's moving out in 60 to 90 days, but she's erratic, paranoid, and her behavior escalates randomly and aggressively. She's selectively turning utilities off, trying to unilaterally change rent, and becoming hostile toward my animals. I don't know what's legally allowed, emotionally survivable, or physically safe at this point. I'm truly scared of the next 2 to 3 months. I feel trapped, and I don't know what to do. Any advice is appreciated.